What's up, YouTube family? It's been a minute, but things have been busy in a very good way. So since the release of MPC 3.0, I've been super busy doing a lot of one-on-one tutoring sessions for MPC 3, people switching over from 2 into MPC 3. And this last session ended up being a 45-minute long MPC 3.0 crash course overview, and I wanted to share that knowledge with you out there. Now, it was a rather long session, so I broke it up into 5 parts, and this is going to be part 1. Part 2, 3, 4, and 5 will be staggered releases over the next week, but if you are a member of my Patreon group, which the link is down below, you can see the entire session starting today. Also, on my Patreon page, that's where I'm going to start releasing the official MPC 3.0 Masterclass that I've been filming over the last couple of months, refining it, and that should be dropping very soon. But in the meantime, this is going to be part 1 of the last tutoring session I did, which was an MPC 3.0 crash course. I hope it brings you some value out there. Please check it out, and I will see you at the end of the video. The first time you open up the MPC, you're going to see this default project here. And before we jump into the main screen where you can do about 90% of the things you need to do, there are a few quick menus that you need to be aware of. One is there's a drop down right on top. By pulling your finger down from the top, you have access quickly to the time correction to turn the loop on and off, to toggle your automation, the metronome, Ableton link, and then also a second page for mapping, which we'll talk about later. So that just swipes up, and on any window, no matter where you are, you can just pull that down and have access. Now, when you touch the Q links over here, you may or may not see that it pops up on the screen. That is what's called Q-Link status. Q-Links allow you to control anything on the screen, and there's multiple modes of them. So by pressing and holding the Q-Link button, we can see all the different modes that these knobs can change depending on what we have them allocated to. And if we want to eliminate this pop-up right here, we just press and hold Q-Link and turn off Q-Link status. Now that won't pop up, so we won't know exactly what we're controlling unless we see it moving on the screen. And if you want to reactivate that, you just press and hold, turn Q-Link back on. And we'll go over these different modes afterwards. So when in doubt, go to the main screen. The main screen is where you can do 90% of stuff. And essentially you have 4 different layers of detail that you can get into on the main screen. You have what kind of track is it, your sound source right here. You have the arrangement, what's happening with the MIDI notes. And then the sequence is essentially, think of it like a section of a song. So if it's an intro, if it's an outro, and then on top of that, you have a finer detailed look of what's happening here, which is the channel strip. So by pressing over here, you expand the channel strip, and that gives you pretty much majority of the details that you need in order to manipulate all the parameters of whatever is highlighted, what kind of track you're on. Now, you have multiple tracks inside the MPC, and to change what kind of track type it is, you just press on this little 4 grid icon right here, and you'll get a pop-up. So if I didn't want my track 1 to be drums, I could flip it into a program or a plugin program, a MIDI program, CV, or audio. Now, if I want to change the name of either the sequence or the kit, I just press and hold, and that will pull up the track settings. So here on the top, I can change the name. I can change the position if I wanted to move around and change them in order on the mixer. Here I can also see my routing, and this will come in really important for you when you're setting up your MIDI. Here we can see the MIDI routing and also change the color. And it's the same with the sequence. If I wanted to change this to intro, I do it, and that will save that name change right there. So track, what sound is happening, what notes are happening with inside of the track, and what part of the song is that on right there. Now, on top of that, you'll see over on the right side, you have these little pencils. Anytime you see a pencil, it essentially gets you to your edit menu of what you're on. So if I hit the pencil right here, you can see that I'm able to edit the arranger right here. So these are things I can do within the arranger tab. And then also clicking the pencil up here is things I can edit with inside of this sequence. If I had a 4-bar loop and I wanted to double it to 8 bars, I could really quickly come in here and just hit double length, and that would double the length of that loop. These are all the things you can do. I can copy sequences and such and so forth, and we'll go over all that. So let's just start off with a drum kit because most people are going to be using a drum kit. As you can see, when you click on a pad, it's going to highlight what is happening with the sound right there, and you can quickly change the start and the end point of whatever is inside of this pad. And if I want to take a deeper look and get more details, we have the XL channel strip. And here we have 4 sections. We have the level, effects, sends, and the I/O. So what I can do from this first one, effects, I can mute solo, I can change the panning, I can toggle the automation real quick. You can also do that with the automation button right here, and I can adjust the level. Now the effects is where we can add up to 4 effects on top of the entire drum kit, but inside of a drum kit you can add 4 effects on each individual sound, which I'll show. And then also you can send it to a submix if you want. Now, right now I can see that on this drum kit, because it says Trap Kit 1 right here, I have these plugins. If I want to deactivate any one of those plugins, I'm just going to press and hold on it, and it's going to go from blue to gray, and that means that that plugin's deactivated. If I press on it again, it's going to activate it. And if I want to bypass everything that I've added on this and just see how it sounds without all those effects, this little up arrow, I just press on that, it deactivates all of the plugins on that channel. And if I want to turn it back on, I just press and hold on that, and now all the plugins are activated. If I want to actually edit any one of these plugins, I can just click on it and it's going to go right to that plugin itself. I can tweak, move around. And if I want to, let's say, delete any one of these plugins or reorder them, that little arrow, instead of pressing and holding on it, if we just tap it, we're going to go into our plugin screen. And with these arrows, I can move these around. So if I want to put this one above there, I can move that. I can bypass them from here. I can also delete them if I want. And if I wanted to add an effect, it's empty. I just double tap. I go into the browser for the effects, and they're by category. You can also change them by manufacturer if you want, but we'll just stick with type right here, and you just click into it, and then we can add that. If I want to edit from this screen, I just hit that right there. What these are up on top is this, you can have effect stacks, and you can save your effect stacks, or there are default ones. So if you click on the little folder, it says Akai. These are all pre-made effect stacks by category. Let's say we load up a guitar one. There we have 4 different effects. And if you create your own custom one and want to save it, you're just going to hit the save right there, and you're going to choose where you want to save this effect stack right there. So let's go all the way back out. So that's what you're going to find right here inside of the effects. This is just a shortcut to searching for those effect stacks that we just looked at. And then moving over, you have the sends. So you can have 4 sends, and it's pretty intuitive. So if you touch this, you're going to notice that it's going to change what you're seeing over on the right. So if I want to see what's in send 1, I click on it. It's going to change to send 1. And then if I click on effect, I can see that, on send 1, it's a reverb right there. Now, if I click on send 2, I can see that it's a delay. Send 3 and 4 have nothing in them. And then also the I/O here is really important, because here I can see everything that's going on with my ins and outs on this track. So right now I can see it set to auto, which means that when the track is selected, it's record enabled automatically. It's receiving MIDI from all the ports. So if you had your keyboard connected and you were on this track and you were playing your keyboard, you would hear all the drum sounds happening right away. But if you wanted to eliminate that, you go into the MIDI port in, click on it, and just select only the MPC pads. That means that your keyboards connected aren't going to trigger any of these drum sounds. Only the drum pads are going to trigger this drum sound. By default, it's on all ports, so that's something just to be aware of. You can send MIDI out. Let's say if you wanted to send it from here to another kit inside of the instrument, you can do that. And then at the bottom, you have your audio output. Where is this going? Typically, it's going to stay on output 1 and 2. But if you wanted to create a submix, you could either double tap to go into the menu, or you could just turn this and you're gonna see that it corresponds. When I select a submix, it's gonna show me exactly where this track is going. So we're gonna go back and leave it just to output 1 and 2. Now, this is on the track level, so this is the actual kit. But if I wanted to see what's going on with an individual pad, say this pad that I just touched, right here at the bottom, as you can see, there's 4 squares and then 1 square. So if I touch this, you're gonna get feedback. Channel strip is now showing the pad. So now we can see that as I select the pad, it's going to change to that pad. So if there was a situation where I'm like, you know what? I wanna put a filter on this pad right here. I would select this pad and then go into my effects. I can see that there's a reverb on there. I'm gonna tap that, add a filter real quick, go to that, and now I can filter out this sound and bring that sound down or bring it back up. So when you're inside of a drum kit, you have 2 channel strips. You have one for the entire kit, and you'll see it typically says kit, and then it shows you the output it's going to. And then when I flip to the pad view, it shows me the individual pads, so you'll see it as number A13 because we're on bank A. These are the banks up here. We're on bank A, pad 13, and I can see that it's going out to the kit. And then if I want to close it, I hit close. So that's pretty much the XL channel strip, and you'll find that most of the things that you need to find as far as routing, you can find it in multiple different locations, but most things, when in doubt, I always tell people, when in doubt, hit main, get you back to this home screen, because most of the things you want to get to, you can do it either via a double tap, a press and hold, or an expand. All right, so that was part 1 of essentially a 5-part MPC crash course series that I filmed the last MPC tutoring session I was doing. Again, if you don't want to wait for the staggered release of the other parts, just check out the Patreon link down below. All the parts are live on there now. So I hope it was able to bring you some workflow improvements, maybe get your speed up and going with the MPC, or just clarify a little bit of the way around the new MPC 3.0. I personally really like the new 3.0 software. I think it's really intuitive and really fast to get things done. So hopefully these videos actually help you get more music out there. In the meantime, thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention, and go make some music. Go make something cool.